Hello to all you newcomers and welcome back, my lovely subscribers. This is Big Baby Props and I'm the Big Baby. Today I've got another helmet tutorial for you guys. In this episode we'll be doing the Commander of the Galactic Marines, CC-138, better known as Commander Bacara. We get a brief glimpse of this unique helmet in Revenge of the Sith, and I've been a fan ever since. So I'm very excited to show you guys how to make this helmet. Before we begin, I want to mention I put a link to the files used in this video in the description, so if you have a 3D printer and want to complete this project, be sure to check that out. If you don't have a 3D printer and want to complete this project, also check out the link in the description to my shop online, where I sell a variety of Clone Wars helmets. With that all sorted out, let's begin. Since this helmet is too large to print in one piece for my printers, I had to print it in multiple pieces. So the first step we're going to have to do is assembly. For that, we're going to use a sandpaper pad glued to a flat surface, some cyanoacrylate superglue, and maybe our soldering iron. Some E6000 can also come in handy. Use the sandpaper board to ensure all the pieces have a flat surface. That way they'll bond better with our glue. You want to be sure to glue the pieces as perfectly together as possible, because it's going to save us a ton of time later on down the road. You can strengthen the seams by using a soldering iron or something like E6000 along the inside seam of the helmet if you're worried about it falling apart. Once you have your helmet fully assembled, we can move on to smoothing out the 3D printer lines. The one major drawback of FDM 3D printing technology is it's always going to leave you with small layer lines. We're going to need to smooth those out in order to get the best possible finish. To do that, we're going to be using a combination of Rust-Oleum filler primer and Bondo spot putty. Links to both can be found in the description. The filler primer is essentially a thick spray paint we'll paint all over the helmet, and what it will do is it'll seep into the 3D printer lines, dry, and then we'll be able to sand it down to get our smooth finish. I usually do 3 to 4 heavy coats of filler primer to get it to a smoothness I'm happy with. The Bondo is kind of a catch-all for deformities and works great for some of the thicker printer lines. Say instead of applying 8 or 9 coats of filler primer, we can just rub on some Bondo with our finger, let it harden over a few hours, then sand it away the same as our filler primer. For sanding, I like to do one run with the mouse sander to get a large portion of the hand sanding done quickly. Use a medium grit on this, something between 100 and 200. If the sandpaper is too coarse, we run the risk of damaging the helmet. After we're done with the mouse, I move on to hand sanding. For this, I like to use a 150 grit sandpaper and follow it up with 300 to get a finish that I'm happy with. At the end of sanding, you should have a helmet that is perfectly smooth. I found that giving the helmet a light coat of black can help identify spots that may need additional filler primer or Bondo. Now that we've got the hard part out of the way, we can start painting. Now, as with most clones, we're going to need a base coat of white. Luckily, Bacara's paint scheme is pretty simple, so we're just going to cover everything in a nice white. Be sure to take your time during these steps and use thin layers of paint. If the paint is too thick, it may run, and that never looks good. Once our white paint is dry, we can use some painter's tape to prepare the helmet for other colors. In this case, the only major color is the gray of the face flaps. I don't know what to call them. For that, we're going to be using our gray filler primer from before, as it matches the screen color pretty closely. There are a few other details like the brim along the back side, the mouth, the greeblies, that can be painted in a similar manner. Just use the painter's tape and make sure it has a good connection with the print, so you don't paint anything you don't want to. There's some circular little identifiers on the front of the helmet as well. For that, we're just going to be painting over some googly eyes and glue them right on. I won't be weathering this helmet, but if you're interested in weathering techniques, be sure to check out some of my other videos outlining my process. So there we go, guys. There's our finished Commander Bacara helmet. He may look like he's fresh out of the test tube, but you do not want to mess with this guy. I hope you enjoyed the video. I tried something a little bit different with the length, so let me know in the comments if you like the videos shorter and more to the point, or longer and more descriptive. I hope you guys learned something and are able to complete this project at home. As always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in the next video.